I'm a practicing Catholic. I practice my faith.
If you're asking whether I take my faith seriously and I'm a faithful Catholic, I am.
But he comes from a very devout Catholic family, as do I, and we have that in common, and we recognize it, that devotion and that authenticity.
Do you consider yourself an Orthodox Catholic?
I am a Catholic, Senator Durbin.
He is a deeply religious man. I think everyone knows that, and he's guided by his faith.
The conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. That's of concern.
Biden is a man who's been a devout member of the Catholic faith, and he lives his religion.
The fact that you had written in an earlier article that Catholic judges, and you would be a Catholic judge.
I've seen how in moments of joy and of triumph, he's turned to prayer.
Amy Comey Barrett, Catholic, really Catholic. Be saying this name a lot, I'm sure, because she's a fucking nut.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We are live. It is Debate Tuesday. No,
yay! Dude, I am so fired up. I had to pinch myself this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, it's Debate Tuesday.
We're 35 days out. Can you believe 35 days out?
35 days out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are from another election. We have been together for another 4 years.
Yeah,
that's right. We have been. And I might not have the same team that I had 4 years ago, but I think that I've upgraded and have better members. And if you don't know them, let me introduce. Well, actually, my name is Wayne Dupree. You're watching the Wayne Dupree Show. We've been going ever since 2012. We're going through, major different iterations of it, but, we're still here. To my left, you're right. Leah Blue Eyes Bella. What's up, Lee?
What's up? I love the color of your shirt. That's number one. I'm going to give you two compliments today. And you know what? You know the reason why you're one of the longest running conservative talk shows out there? It's because you say it how it is, Wayne. You tell the truth and you don't pander to anybody. Right. And you stay your grounds. I'm watching you on Twitter and you're doing it. You stand your grounds. You mean what you say. You're not wishy-washy on stuff. And I think that's why so many conservatives go out with the tide, but you just keep coming back in. Because you stand your ground. So 2 thumbs up to you and your blue shirt.
Well, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's the truth.
Sometimes it is lonely out there. I mean, I have family in both of y'all and a whole lot of our supporters and viewers, but sometimes it just feels lonely. And then I reach out to the bishop.
What's going on?
Brian Smith for some leadership there. So
I called her Brittany Dash, and it's not. It's Brown-Eyed Ash. Brown-Eyed Ash. Okay. Oh, okay.
I got your name right now.
Okay.
So for those of you on the Periscopes, I usually hang out and try to comment back to y'all. Leah and Wayne, you guys got everybody, right?
Huh?
You can see everybody's comments, right?
Oh, yeah, we see everybody's comments, but it's hard for me to comment back because my little cell phone's too tiny and I always mess up and I can't do like 18 things at one time. I'm just going to drink my tea and make comments to you guys.
Share the show.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, hit share and then hit all your groups that you're in, all your Trump groups.
Share the show.
Share your groups. We are definitely being suppressed on Facebook. We're definitely being suppressed in the groups.
Yeah.
We're definitely being suppressed on Twitter. So we want
and it's not a good night to be suppressed because listen, tonight at 7 p.m. we're going live. The debates start at 9. We're going to take phone calls. We're going to have some fun facts about Trump, all kinds of cool things like that. For our RT, our international listeners, I'm not sure what time it's going to be where you're at. So if you can grab your cup of tea and watch, grab your pint of Guinness or your stein of beer, whatever it is that you're going to do with us, get it and join in at 7 p.m. Eastern time here, and we hope that you can watch. So, yeah.
I was somebody on Rocky on Periscope said that my shirt highlights your eyes.
Oh, look at that! kind of does. I like it.
So 4 in the morning, Russia. 4 in the morning. Wake up early.
And what time will it be in England?
That's right. That's
We'll
right.
be here.
Not only that, RT contacted me this morning and said thank you for doing the debate tonight. They didn't
That's awesome.
Actually, they didn't ask me. I just went ahead and said, yeah,
you know what? That's cool that they did that.
Broadcast on your channel, and that's it. That's all it is. And
yeah, right.
They were like, you know what?
Awesome.
Thank you. I mean, we were gonna ask, but we are seeing that you did it, and thank you. So yeah.
And if you're in the UK or around the UK,
yeah,
you're 5 hours ahead of us.
5 hours.
You're 5 hours ahead of the East Coast. So add that up.
Basically tonight we are talking about a lot of stuff. Yes, the debates start at you said at 9, but we're going to be taking your phone calls like Leah said. We're going to be talking about different things coming up. The contrast between both candidates, what to expect, but this is our first debate watch party together. So we're going to be on all the platforms: YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, Parler, Cloud Hub, RT. We're going to be on all of them. So we want you to sit back and relax with us. Yep. Call in. If you are a cord cutter,
I am.
I know I am. Leah, are you a cord cutter?
I don't know what. No.
You have Firefox or Apple TV in your house, or?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Oh, just straight cable because you're in the mountains. Okay,
yeah,
so
we can't get any of that snazzy stuff like you guys.
What do you call me? I cut the cable too.
There you go.
I cut it all. Yeah. No.
Oh, that's a cord cable. Okay, gotcha.
Cord cutter. So for all of you that have cut the cord, actually, I think you are a cord cutter, Leah. But you can watch our show on your TV. Just pull up YouTube.
Yeah.
And
if you have a smart TV, if you have a smart TV, watch us on your television. That way you can have a party within a party. Just type in YouTube and then pull us up and watch us. That's what we do here when we have people over and they want to watch. We pull it up on the big screen. It's fun.
Right. And if you wake up at 9 a.m. in China, you can watch your candidate on the debate stage with Donald Trump.
Joe Biden, that's right. Your CCP candidate.
12 hours ahead of East Coast, 9 a.m.
So
oh my. Look at that.
Yeah, they're ready. They're getting ready for it. It's the first time tonight.
Yeah, you want to talk about what you heard?
Yeah. Did you hear that Joe Biden requested and asked for every 30 minutes he wants a break? Trump campaign came back and said, our candidate can do 90 minutes standing up. No, we don't want to do that. But I'm wondering if Trump's going to double down or agree to that, because Trump actually wants a third party to come in and inspect his ears for a device. So he might say, okay, I'll give you 30-minute check. Yeah, 30-minute breaks if you check his ear for an earphone. I don't know.
So basically what you're saying is Joe Biden's camp has asked for breaks every 30 minutes?
Correct. And the Trump campaign requests third-party inspector to check for electronic devices in candidates' ears. That is now breaking news.
And Joe Biden has refused to the drug test.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty ballsy for Trump to ask for a drug test before or after. Anytime.
Well, Giuliani got on and said, Trump needs to take off the gloves. Joe has called him a Nazi. Joe has said some pretty nasty stuff about him. And it's time for Trump to go all in on this guy.
He said he could take his head off.
Yeah,
I thought it was a bit much. But okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. I thought Giuliani saying that. I thought, well, that's a bit much for right now. But
yeah.
Okay.
But, I will say this. Both men are different. Both men are different, but in a way, in a small way, they're the same. And agree with me, disagree with me, but the way that I look at it from where I am, both are very passionate about what they believe in.
That's
true. And they're speakers, they're lifelong speakers in front of
Yeah.
people. They got to sell something, if you will. And Donald Trump and Joe Biden have that in common, but were raised in two different camps, two different thoughts, two different schools of thought.
I agree with that.
And I think it's going to be interesting. I think why it's so anticipated is because we don't know who we're going to see tonight when Biden comes out. Are we going to see slow Biden? Are we going to see dementia Biden? Are we going to see tired Biden? Are we going to see angry Biden? There's so many different Bidens out there, and it's hard to actually speak about it because Trump has been seen in press events 121 times since March. Joe has 12 press events.
You know what? And I'm going to add on to that. We're seeing Trump's supporters out supporting Trump and out and about and making the silent majority isn't silent no more. Okay. But you really don't see anybody out there for Joe in the way of crowds and stuff. So if you were to base the election on that alone, this is going to be a super landslide. But my question to both of you, and give me your honest answer, do you think people are holding back and say, okay, I'm going to vote for Biden, but I'm not going to make it public? The same way they did for Trump. Is that possible?
I don't know. I find it difficult to be a Democrat and not be vocal about your candidate, because they always are, regardless of who the candidate is. They were vocal about Hillary Clinton. And real quick, those two schools.
Wait, are you sure they were vocal about Hillary? Because Hillary's crowds weren't that pleasing either.
No, but if they were voting for her, they say it and they try and sway you. I mean, it was just no. Okay. So real quick, the two schools of thought, though.
No. I mean, I agree in a way, but how many people out there were, except for Hollywood celebrities, how many people out there were really saying, I'm going to vote for Hillary?
They had bumper stickers. They had yard signs.
I have more Joe signs than I do Hillary.
Right.
I do.
So, but the two schools of thought that they raised up in, Joe Biden's been raised in a school of thought where you cram, like the school of the university, you cram at the last minute for the exam. And then when it's over with, it doesn't matter. You pass, you pass. Donald Trump's raised in the school of the farm, the land, where you can't cram for the crops in August so that they raise up in a week. It's the slow, methodical, hard work, long-term, long vision, long game, long goals that wins. And that's telling right now with Donald Trump and the economy coming back and everything he's done for America.
Well, to answer your question, Wayne, too, I was at a yard sale over the weekend, and she had a flag out. And we were like, oh, so you're a Trump supporter. And she was like, no, I just forgot to take it down after Labor Day. I'm voting Democrat. She didn't say I'm voting for Joe. So I asked her, why are you voting for Joe? And then she said, I'm voting Democrat because I work for a mental hospital that is paid for by the Democrats. They rolled on it that we would get support. So therefore, I'm voting Democrat. She didn't say one good thing about Joe. She never even mentioned Joe's name. So I got back in the car and I thought about this for a while. And I thought, what's interesting? The rest of them that I know that are voting for Joe say I'm voting Democrat. They will not admit to voting for Joe. It's like they're in denial that Joe Biden is running for the Democrat Party. So they're voting Democrat, but ignoring the fact that it's Joe that would get the presidency. That is very alarming. They won't say his name.
But that's
they
weird
won't.
that's weird that your friend would say that. I had the flag up, but I forgot to take it down.
I pointed that out to my husband. I said, wasn't that strange that she said, no, I had the flag up. I just forgot to take it down for Labor Day.
Trump flag?
No, an American flag.
Or just American flag?
Mm-hmm. But around here, if you have an American flag, that means you're a Trump supporter.
Right, because you love America.
Right. So it was interesting. She did not say Joe's name. Very kind woman. I appreciated her coming across the aisle with me and talking, and we had a great talk. But we made progress, but it was very interesting that she wouldn't say Joe's name.
Should President Trump just go into, because this is something that we've been talking about, before. Should President Trump go after Biden on stage and not hold back? Or should he be reserved a little bit so that Biden won't get the sympathy type of response from viewers?
I think that the only way that Joe makes headlines is if he goes completely dramatic. Because because then we see Joe breathing and pointing his finger and we're like, oh my gosh, look, he can move more than his elbow and he's breathing. He's actually taking deep breaths and pointing. Like, that's a huge step for him, right? Like, mark that down in the baby book. Joe pointed and breathed at the same time. That's amazing.
Oh my God, no, she
didn't. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that if he goes unhinged, he's going to make headlines. So I think that Trump should not try to trigger him. And then Joe will forcibly trigger himself because he knows what is going to make headlines. And then maybe Trump can call him out on and say, look at you, you're unhinged as just as much as the left. I think if he calls him out for it, it's going to be better if he pushes him into it. Does that make sense?
If he triggers him with a question, with a good question, that's a good solid question, that gets him, and it might even be a succession of questions, multiple questions that kind of build and lead up, and you could see the steam starting to rise, and then boom, then he blows up. No, that'd be good to watch. That'd be interesting.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I agree.
I just put this response from. You don't have a lot of viewers, but you guys are very, very effective. Strong messages. I would be surprised if this debate is not canceled in the 11th hour. Actually, we have a lot of viewers.
Yeah, we have about 200, anywhere from 150 to 200,000 viewers a day.
Right. But there are days when the suppression is strong and real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't
really strong and real, and it's frustrating too, actually.
Yeah, you can't tell me we're hitting 80,000 views on Facebook Live one day, and then all of a sudden,
It goes down to 8,000.
What?
Yeah. And Wayne, you even got an email warning you about your Facebook page was going to be pretty much suppressed from Facebook. So we know about it. Thank you for letting us know. But we are very well aware of it from when we go from 200,000 people to 9,000. There's a suppression going on.
There's a huge suppression going on. Yes, Isabella, Joe needs 30-minute breaks.
Yeah, he's asking for him. But has he gotten approved? I have not heard anything.
Right.
If he's been approved or not. I keep checking.
According to an OAN reporter, I'll leave him nameless. He claims that sources close to the Trump campaign will not give in.
I wouldn't give in either. He does not need 30-minute breaks. If you need 30-minute breaks, then you don't need to be the president.
Not every 30-minute break. So
every
3 breaks.
Well, that's what I mean.
Hold on. Yeah. So it's an hour and a half. So he wants 2 breaks.
Yeah.
30 minutes into it, a break, and then 30 minutes, another 30-minute break. So 2 breaks. He wants 2 breaks.
He better start wearing those Depends, man.
Extra supportive.
Yeah.
He's gonna go 90 minutes, baby.
I would tell you, Jen and crew had a meeting, high-level business meeting about Joe Biden and which Depends would be best to keep from accidents being seen and what is a low profile. So
he's going to be walking like the penguin.
He got low.
He's going to be walking like old Jer.
Oh, Nadler.
Old Nadler.
Oh. So you talking about the panty biscuits?
Work on this subject, not part of this package, but part of preserving our democracy. With that, I'm pleased to yield to the distinguished chairwoman.
That's how Joe's going to have to walk if it's full.
Nasty.
And you know, there is slight dementia there. There is such thing as sundowning in the evening. You get angrier.
Yeah. Did you hear what they did to him? They have been keeping Joe Biden up super late at night.
What?
And
having
him sleep. They've changed his entire sleep pattern so that lunch or breakfast for him will be late afternoon, and lunchtime will be dinner time, and then dinner time will be sometime at midnight. So they changed his whole sleep pattern so that sundowners
Yeah, it's like, yeah. that's
If
fine.
it hits, it'll hit after
Midnight.
the debate. Yeah.
After midnight, we gonna let it all hang.
Yeah, he's like, I'll let it hang out for sure.
Yeah.
President Trump actually a couple of days ago was speaking about Joe for the debates, and I don't know if y'all missed this, but let me play it for you.
That may be one. I mean, the son didn't have a job. He had some big difficulties, and then all of a sudden he's making millions of dollars as soon as his father becomes vice president. No, I think that'll come up. I don't think Joe can answer it, frankly. I think there's only one reason he made all that money. And then you have to say, what about Joe's involvement? And why did Joe not give the $1 billion over to Ukraine, as an example, until such time as they let go of a prosecutor that was investigating the company that his son was involved with? I mean, there's some bad questions. I don't think they have answers. And if we had a media that was fair, even just reasonable, this would be the biggest story for years and years and years. Then you'd really be entitled to real Pulitzer Prizes, not the fake committee that gives you these fake awards. So, I mean, it's a really fair question, but it's hard to believe when you see the kind of money that he has made from China, from Russia, where the wife of the mayor of Moscow gives him $3.5 million, and nobody even has any question about it. Why did he get $3.5 million? I'll tell you why. Because Joe Biden was in on it. Joe was in on it. There's no way that he wasn't. And uses Joe Biden's plane, Air Force Two, uses Joe, and they go to China, and then he comes back, and he never mentioned it to his father that he just got $1.5 billion, and now it's turning out that it's much more money than that, Rudy. It's turned out to be much more money from China. They have a member of the Chinese Communist Party gave him a lot of money, and the press has no interest in these stories. It's just it's very disheartening for the people of our country.
This is a wood chipper moment. He is going to shred
Yeah.
and destroy.
Yeah.
He's going to light that stage on fire.
Did you see how he just it's a regular talking point, and he just brought it all out. And not only did he talk about Hunter, he brought in Joe, and then he brought in the media. So it's going to be on a global stage.
Right.
Everybody's going to be watching it.
Right.
And just like Trump did with the inauguration, when he called out everybody sitting behind him, now he's going to say, but you got Hunter, who took the questionable stuff. You got Joe, who turned his head. You got the media, who's not covering it.
And the CCP was in on it too. Yeah. Same people that gave us coronavirus. Same people that gave us COVID.
The former mayor of Russia. Who's being paid by Russia? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss us tonight. We're going to be here tonight.
This will be huge.
We're starting at 7 p.m.
What? What? We're doing a 2-hour show before the debate?
2-hour show.
We're going to be taking your questions. We're going to be listening to you. We're going to be doing all this stuff. We're going to be, and
it's gonna be fun. I have some fun facts to throw out. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time for sure. Yeah. Do you think Joe's gonna wear a mask the entire debate? Because he hasn't. No. I mean, I
heard that they won't be shaking hands though.
Yeah,
right.
I did hear that.
Yeah, I mean,
but supposedly there's going to be 80 people in that area. So Joe, if he stays true to what he's been doing, he'll have to wear his mask.
Yeah, if he got social distancing. I mean, he's had
social distancing the whole time. He's had 10 people all away from him, and he had his mask on. I'm just saying he's that over dramatic with COVID that he would probably wear a mask.
Jose says they said
it makes him feel safe or something.
Yeah. I don't see them wearing. I mean, honestly, it would be stupid of them to wear a mask, and they are standing 12 feet apart or 15, 20 feet apart. And,
it's stupid when he wears a mask now.
Well, somebody asked, I wonder who's going to be in the crowd. Well, if Donald Trump throws out a zinger about the media, Joe Biden and Hunter, and the crowd boozing, you know who the crowd's been stacked.
I think they invited a few people, like each of them were able to invite so many.
Okay. I just remember that one debate where the Bushes had loaded the crowd when Trump and Bush debated with all of them, and he was destroying the one world order, new world order. He was destroying all of them, and the crowd just started booing. And he's like, "See, look, all their donors out there. We couldn't get tickets. I tried to get tickets for my friends and family to be in this crowd, and you all didn't have none, and y'all gave to the donors. See, that's what I'm talking about."
Do you remember how Trump hovered kind of over Hillary? Like she was talking, turning this way to the crowd, and he'd be right behind her back during 2016. Yeah. I wonder if Trump's going to have that same kind of feel to him with Joe. Like, I wonder how Trump's body language is going to be. It's so up in the air. We just have no clue. That's why this is like the biggest pay-per-view event of the season.
The thing about Hunter Biden as well, and for the troll that's on there, I was in the Air Force and so is Wayne, and the military does support this president. So you're wrong on that. But Hunter Biden, and I know a lot of people have problems in the military. I had a friend that was kicked out, real bad alcoholism and stuff like that. But Hunter Biden, he had his problems too, got kicked out of the military for drugs. I think it was cocaine.
Yeah, I do too. It was cocaine.
And then you get kicked out for cocaine, and then you get hired on at Burisma for $83,000 a month in energy. What?
I can't comprehend how people can vote for the man that has been paid off and his son's been paid off by the CCP when they're all complaining, wear your mask, COVID is going to kill everybody. And you're voting for the man who's sponsored by the CCP. Technically speaking, I'm not saying that he is, but if Biden's getting money from them and Trump and Joe, progressed off of it, how can you be happy about that? How can you support that?
47 years. 47 years, 47 months. You tell me.
It's great. It's I don't know whether it's a way that we've been conditioned to think or what, but many people think that they have to be elected to federal office before they can make any changes to anything, but they're not noticing that when people get up there, nothing really changes.
Right.
And that's why we always said, I guess I'm voting for lesser two evil. I mean, damn it, man, they gave us John McCain. That dirty they gave us John McCain as a presidential nominee, and they had to clean that up a little bit by getting Sarah Palin, hoping to trick us. Hoping they were going to trick us to get Sarah. Now, and that bathing suit and her with that gun and the bikini, it was fake. It's a lie. Y'all try to trick us. You're lying.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're funny, Brian. You are.
You know the picture I'm talking about.
I'm laughing at Ricardo, who said, how many post offices did Joe had renamed? 40 years worth of nothing. So
oh, wow.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. People say, okay, well, I need to get elected to be president so I can change stuff. Well, you were a senator. You were a senator for years, and you didn't do anything.
You were vice president.
You were vice president for 8 years, right? For 8 years, and you didn't do anything. You were in the Oval Office. You had the ear, right? You had the ear of the first African American female president, and you couldn't change anything
because Bill Clinton was the first male African American president.
I know he was. Old Billy boy,
Slick Willie.
Well,
Speaking about that, the polling, Rasmussen came out and said the lowest interest in political election was back during Bill Clinton, and then it peaked around 2008 with Barack Obama, and they're saying it's now peaked and edged up just a little percent higher than 2008 election. So we're looking at a high interest election.
You can't tell me that the American people want another Obama administration. Obama
Harris Group?
No.
Oh, that's what they were.
Well, the Democrats are pitching
term in
still.
Office.
Right now, they're pitching Obamacare, redoing Obama.
Yeah, they
are
are
re-pitching
And they act like it's gold. They act like that Obamacare is pure gold. And I'm like, why are you guys hanging on to it like it's a life safety floating device? It's not that great.
Right. What's his name? Moore?
Michael Moore?
Yeah, Michael Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He said that SHIT Obamacare bronze plan don't even pay for a Percocet. And he's in your camp and he hates the Obamacare. Don't tell me.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Keep your plan if you like your plan. Keep your doctor you like your doctor.
Well, I mean, I guess they're trying to say that that's Obama's legacy, which is that it's an embarrassing legacy. We could go on and on about what his legacy really is. But if you want to pride yourself in Obamacare, that's what they're trying to say.
Let me add something to that, too. You can't tell me that the American people want a third term of Barack Obama, which brought in 10 million jobs, right? Okay. But Wayne, what are you talking about? 94% of them were part-time.
Right.
94% of 10 million jobs were part-time. He took people, and most of all those people lost their health care. So then they came up with Obamacare.
So you could be dependent on the government.
Right.
He forced on people and tried to give you a penalty if you didn't get it.
Right.
And lied and said your premiums wouldn't go up. You can choose your own doctor. You can keep your doctor. Lies.
Right. My cousin's self-employed. He pay as he go. Then all of a sudden he had to pay like a $5,000 penalty for his kid, his wife, and all this. He's like, I ain't paying none of this, and just avoided it all. But hey, we lived through that. I had a wife and 2 daughters at the time. I got laid off. I got 99 weeks of unemployment. What the?
Yeah.
What? Yep. What is that? The first 52 weeks came from the state that you were in, and the rest of them came from the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
That's absurd. That's insanity. I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said, if you want to eliminate poverty, make it extremely uncomfortable to live in. Obama flipped the script on that one. Made it a lifestyle.
Absolutely. He made it a very, very good lifestyle for people. He just wanted everybody to get comfortable so that way the government would own you and you had to depend on the government for everything.
Right. And as we watched, low unemployment rate record for Black Americans, Asian Americans, women, that unemployment numbers were dropping like a rock. Our unemployment on average stayed under 4% for how long? And then COVID hit. Guess what, guys? Unemployment went skyrocketed double digits, and now it's back. It's back down to 8, where it was during Obama's era, and it's going to keep dropping. Donald Trump's got this already.
Again, penalties.
Right.
Penalties. If you didn't buy into his health care, you got penalties.
Yeah.
Tax penalties on top of that.
Justice Roberts.
You remember
there was no right to try.
You remember when taxes came up? They were like, okay, one of the questions was like, do you have it? If you don't have it, you were going to get taxed a certain forcing taxes. This is what the Democrats do, y'all. It's plain and simple. I mean, Republicans are squishy on a whole lot of stuff too. I mean, believe me, they tried to repeal Obamacare and they had plans and they Senator, but when Trump asked for that same plan, what plan? What plan you talking about? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we got to come with a new one. That's one side of the thing. We're talking about the future of the nation now. You don't want Biden in office.
Hey, dial back.
Kamala in office.
Go back.
You don't want anybody, because right now the Democrats, Brian, the Democrats are on life support because of Amy Coney Barrett. She get up there.
They triggered on her.
I mean, look, they are lying about this woman. They are lying, and then they are attacking her on her faith. And I played a video earlier, and I'm gonna play this real quick right now. But they're attacking her on her religion. But then Joe's a Catholic too.
I'm a practicing Catholic. I practice my faith.
If you're asking whether I take my faith seriously, and I'm a faithful Catholic, I am.
But he comes from a very devout Catholic family, as do I, and we have that in common, and we recognize it, that devotion and that authenticity.
Do you consider yourself an Orthodox Catholic?
I am a Catholic, Senator Durbin.
He is a deeply religious man. I think everyone knows that, and he's guided by his faith.
The conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. That's of concern.
Biden is a man who's been a devout member of the Catholic faith, and he lives his religion.
The fact that you had written in an earlier article that Catholic judges, and you would be a Catholic judge.
I've seen how in moments of joy and of triumph, he's turned to prayer.
Amy Coney Barrett, Catholic, really Catholic. Be saying this name a lot, I'm sure.
So,
you know why they're doing that? Because they don't have anything else to run on. Her record is spotless, #1 in her class. They can't figure out anything else to pin on her except for her religion.
They made fun of her having 2 black kids. That's rich. It just shows you who the racists are.
Oh, yeah, it's sick.
But we've got Donald Trump, who has made America better than it ever was. So for those of you on the scope saying,
he's working on it.
We had an economy
we had an economy
with lights that we've never seen before. We was
Until
making more money than we'd ever made before. We were keeping our taxes like we'd never kept them before. I mean, go all the way back into history during World War II and FDR. They played commercials, taxes for the axes. You know, they want to make sure, give your taxes up. We got to win the war. You need more taxes. And then it's stuck. That's all you guys are all about is taxes and money. Hey, leave us alone. Let's be Americans. Let's live.
But Joe is not going to be talking about that as much as he is the 200,000 people that died. He is going to run that pony the whole way into the sunset tonight.
Damn.
I am telling you, he is just going to keep blaming Trump. It's your fault. It's your fault that 200,000 people are dead. And it's not. It is CCP sent this over here. And I find it so frustrating that people that are voting for Biden really do believe that these deaths were caused by Trump. This was COVID-19. This was China related. They're the ones who knew about it way long before we even got hit with it. There's an issue there. And I hope that Trump sets him straight on this, because people need to wake up and realize that COVID-19 came from China. And if you want to be protesting something, protest that.
When he can run on that all day, all Trump has to do is come back. I'm saving the babies from the pedophiles. I'm saving babies from being murdered by Planned Parenthood in our nation and worldwide. Tax cuts for all y'all making more money than you made before, bringing back jobs. Matter of fact, he was in the Swordsville here in Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, showcasing GM opening up a new plant. What? Trump, Orange Man bad? Why? I see you in the scope. I know. Orange Man bad? Why?
And if COVID would not have happened, I'm not sure what anybody's argument would be. I mean, his policies have been great. He's created peace in the Middle East. He's nominated for 3 peace prizes. I mean, this is the
I just
best.
heard that today, a third one today.
Let me tell you this. I did a story on the 3rd Nobel Peace Prize that President Trump is being nominated for. They talked to a law professor. Law professors nominated President Trump for this. Law professors in overseas. Now, here on this show, the way that I think about our media and what they do, I'm always worried about what people overseas are seeing, because, you know, in many places you have CNN and MSNBC playing more than you do Fox News overseas. So I wonder about the message that's going out overseas. But the professor came on the thing last night, and I'll have that video later. But he said the Trump doctrine is better than anything that any former president has put out.
Wow.
Because of how he is bringing the Middle East together totally. How he is pulling America out from the wars. How he is helping America to to be energy independent of the Middle East. He said, and that Trump is using common sense and logic. I mean, to hear this guy talk about President Trump like this, he's a law professor out of Australia.
Okay, so you wrote a story about what this law professor out of Australia wrote, and it's a legit guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wolverine, Wayne is reporting on what a law professor said in the nomination. So how are we getting it wrong? How are we stupid for believing
it doesn't fit their narrative? Because it doesn't fit their narrative, and that's the same reason why the media is not covering it. Because they don't want Trump to win. They hate Trump, and this makes Trump look amazing. Yes. This seals the deal for Trump. There's not a chance in hell that Joe Biden can get in after you're nominated for peace prizes like this. But the media knows if they cover it, Trump is going to get in. So they are doing whatever they can, however they can, to make sure that this man does not get in office. If that means that they don't even mention the word peace prize anywhere at any time.
Speaking of that, Trump bring that up. Watch the moderator. Watch Chris Wallace. Hey.
And Wayne, you wonder why you're suppressed? You wonder why you're suppressed? It's because you're doing stories like that with Trump. You think Mark Zuckerberg is happy that we're talking about Trump's third Nobel Peace Prize? He's not happy about it.
No, not at all.
You think they're celebrating from the rooftops? Shouldn't they be? They should have changed the Google logo into little Nobel Peace Prizes like they do for everything else. Every day you're on Google. You know?
Yeah, I should have.
When it's National Teacher Day, you got pencils there and a school bus going down the Google name. Why not have a peace prize for Donald Trump? 3 big ones coming out of the big O's in Google. Think they'll do that? No.
Be proud of your country, proud of your president, proud of the peace. Y'all want peace. Y'all want peace. You want
but if it was Obama, today would be a holiday. The schools would be off. The banks would be closed. Today would be Obama's third Nobel Peace Prize nomination day. Everybody take off.
Oh, it'd be a national holiday forever.
Right.
Forever. Exactly what it would be.
I'm gonna let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can pull it up because let me see. Yeah, I can. Okay, it's gonna take just a little bit here. I'm gonna.
Trump, given that many people would not be aware that law professors can nominate someone for the Nobel Peace Prize, are you and other distinguished professors Zimmerman, Mowens and James Allen writing to nominate Donald Trump for what he's done in the quest for world peace?
Yes, we have. It is the third nomination of Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, and it is based on the Trump doctrine. The Trump doctrine is something extraordinary, as so many things that Donald Trump does. He is guided by 2 things which seem to be absent from so many politicians. He has, firstly, common sense, and he is only guided by a national interest, and therefore, in our circumstances, an interest in the Western alliance. And what he has done with the Trump doctrine is that he has decided that he would no longer have America involved in endless wars which achieve nothing but the killing of thousands of young Americans and enormous debts imposed on America, and nothing solved in the countries in which it is carried on. So he's reducing America's tendency to get involved in any and every war.
And then, of course, the peace deal. Yeah, the peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, 9 other Middle Eastern countries. I mean, if any other president did this, the whole world would be barking Nobel Prize.
I've been saying.
He decided to negotiate that on the basis of going against expert advice. Everybody told him, oh, no, you must first get the approval of the Palestinians. Now, the Palestinians are led by a dictatorship. They're dominated by a dictatorship. They'll never agree to anything. When Yasser Arafat was given almost the world by Bill Clinton, he found some reason not to accept it. They don't want peace, not the leadership. The people certainly want peace, of course they do. But what Trump did was he went ahead and negotiated against all advice, but he did it with common sense. He negotiated directly with the Arab states concerned and Israel and brought them together, and these states are lining up, Arab and Middle Eastern, to join that network of peace which will dominate the Middle East. He's also been the first American president to work out how to make America energy independent of the Middle East.
Yes.
So he's not dependent anymore. America's not dependent anymore on Middle Eastern oil as all previous administrations were.
Since the 70s. Since the 70s.
In relation to Korea, he's withdrawn from the ridiculous agreement that Obama made, which allowed the to obtain an enormous amount of money from America, including money flowed in cash to Tehran from the United States.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yay. Amen to that.
Developed nuclear weapons. He's withdrawn completely from that. He is really producing peace in the world in a way which none of his predecessors did.
Oh, boy. There's some truth to power right there. People aren't liking to hear that.
No, and he's just spitting facts. He's not being paid by anybody.
He wasn't reading off anything.
No, he's just spitting facts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying that this guy should be out there and be at Trump's rallies. Trump should fly him to the rally and have him stand up there and warm the crowd up.
No, he doesn't need to be with rallies. He needs to be on mainstream media. He needs to be playing everywhere that the Biden fans are watching so they can understand the truth.
So
I don't know how you don't celebrate peace in the Middle East.
Right.
I just
So
don't understand.
Has not all these politicians always said to us, peace in the Middle East, that's why I'm going to bring you.
Yep.
We need our energy independence. We need that. We need to strive for that. Democrats, Republicans, they always scream that because they get excited. And us Americans are like, yes, we need to be independent, energy independent, because we lost it in the 70s and we don't want to be dependent on these it's OPEC. We don't want this. Trump did it.
It's bad for all of them.
Damn thing.
If we don't have wars, we don't make money. And that's my
Right, that's true. That is true.
That's exactly who I'm talking about.
Right. Politicians don't.
Well, you said when they get into office, they promise no more wars, but then they have wars. And I'm answering you with, it's because they see the money stopping. When that faucet of money comes in and then the faucet shut off, they go, oh no, we need to start a war.
I'll tell you, and I tell you another thing that that helps the war is what our economy is. If our economy is real bad, you got to go and do a war somewhere. Because it raises money. It's stupid, but it's been like that. It's been like that. In World War II,
we can change it. We rethink it though.
In World War
Trump
II,
is
when they got women, or was it World War I where women start working in the factories? Two. Women start working in the factories because most of the men were over there fighting. But guess what? The money was coming in. We need this, we need that, and women start getting proficient in making stuff, and you know, the war machine is probably one of the worst things built.
I was gonna say at what cost, right?
And it makes the most money.
Human life, the cost of human life, the cost of everything involved, the sacrifice of the moms not being there to raise the children. Now we got a whole generation of baby boomers. Just saying. Sorry about that, guys. I got yelled at the other day for blasting on baby boomers. Not all y'all, but a lot of y'all.
Mercedes Schlapp, who works in the communication department of the White House, had this to say about the debate for tonight.
Well, the game plan is to show the contrast, to unveil Joe Biden's attachment to the far left, how he has committed to Bernie Sanders' unity agenda, which we know would lead to increase of taxes. You're talking about $4 trillion of a tax burden on American families. Also expose how he has cozied up with China, where basically we have seen the trade deals that he has supported, the fact that he supported China going into the World Trade Organization as a favored nation, that has been problematic in offshoring jobs to China, while President Trump has committed to bringing jobs back to the United States, and he's been successful in building the strongest economy that we've seen.
You know what? I got a question about, you know how the media kept saying Russia, 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 had all this stuff, Russiagate and all that. But they tried to make the American people think that Russia was the only country that tried to have a hand in the 2016 election. And I'm like, with everything that China has, everything that President Trump has been uncovering with China.
Yeah.
Don't you find it strange that the media didn't say nothing about China in the 2016 election? Nothing. Like
they won't say the China virus either.
Like right.
And they won't say the China caused the virus.
And didn't do nothing at all.
Nothing. They're ran by China. China is our biggest enemy. No one can tell me any different.
Funding the Democrat machine.
They already have taken over Hollywood, because I remember when they went and bought up a lot of the stuff in Hollywood. So you're trying to tell me that China doesn't have anything to do with a whole lot of these networks too? Remember?
Absolutely.
Programming of the children. I'm telling you, it's so bad.
Trump tries to tell you tidbits when he says things, because he can. Again, we don't know everything behind the scenes. He's the president. He knows a lot more than we do, and he can't tell us. But when he says the ink was not dry on the trade deals when China sent this virus to us, he means it. And he's trying to tell you something there. We were destroying them economically, so they tried to destroy us physically. If you want to start a war and you want to kill a ton of people, you send over a bioweapon. You send over something that's invisible, because it costs the least amount of money and it's the easiest way to kill people and wreck everything. They wrecked our economy. They showed the uglies of America, and they did not want Trump to stay in office. This was genius when it comes to CCP. This is exactly what they should have done. And if anybody wants to say this was by mistake let go, come on. Come on.
I mean, look, Brian, the example was out there a few years ago when SARS was released in the subway, in the China subway. I mean,
let's just call it what it is.
It's not like they're in China's not innocent like everybody says. And if you really care about the our debt and everything, you would think, well, why are so many businesses beholden to China? Why are so many people bowing down to? Didn't Obama bow down to the emperor? Well, I don't know. Maybe
he bowed down to somebody.
It happened in Saudi Arabia, but
well, he took a couple knees to almost all of them over there.
Yeah, he did.
No, but here's the thing: all these politicians, and for those of you in the scope that are blasting on Trump. Let me make this quite clear. I am not just blasting on Democrats. I'm blasting on Republicans as well.
Always.
Why?
But you got to blast on China too.
I'm blasting on these politicians in America. Why have you allowed China to buy our debt? Why have you allowed China to come into this country? Why have you allowed them so much power in the world? And Joe wanting to add them to the to the trade deals and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's because you're trying to enrich yourselves and your families. The cocaine Mitch McConnell family, Joe Biden, and all of them. I'm telling you, it's just so cesspool nasty. Juxtapose, Trump shows up. He's not a politician. As a matter of fact, I posted a picture of him hanging out with Tupac. Come on.
And it's alarming that Trump is the only president to say, hey, maybe our medicines, all of our medicines, shouldn't be made by China. Right. I mean, guys, we're ingesting medicines made in China to save our lives, and they're trying to kill us. This can't be a good idea.
Right. We had a guest on the show that told us that a lot of our pills are coming from China. Fentanyl.
90%.
Yeah. The fentanyl.
The stuff that's going around killing people, that's made in China.
Right, and be shipped over to Mexico and right up the drug mules right up the border.
That's dangerous. I mean,
we also had an Ohio mom that was interviewed this morning about why she supports.
Let me just get your thoughts on the law and order issue. Is that important to you?
It is very important.
Extremely important to you.
Mm-hmm. I'm worried. We lost two Cleveland police officers within 12 hours of each other. on the internet, we are watching people say, well, that's just too bad. That's collateral damage. They need to hear us. Okay, I am fully aware of that, but when they're saying we're just letting cities burn in riots, because these protests, when they say 94% of them are peaceful, that's correct. What about the 6% that aren't, that are causing hundreds of millions of dollars in damages, lost businesses? People are dying.
So suburban women are worried about the riots.
Right.
Gee, look at that.
Peaceful majority did not matter. The majority of Germans in Hitler's Nazi era, the majority were peaceful. In Mao's era, the majority were peaceful. In Japan's imperial empire, with bayonets taking over China and all of Asia, the majority were peaceful. It's not the majority that make the change. It's the small, violent ones.
Wayne, you said yesterday that Joe Biden came out and said that suburban women were going for him, remember? Because that's the report that we saw. Yeah.
Reports are.
But look at this. The suburban women do not like riots.
Right.
They're home alone with their children, and they don't know how to use a gun. They don't want riots.
Or they don't want to have to use a gun. I would say don't know how to use it.
Well, I don't know how to use a gun. I'll be honest. I don't know how. I'm considered, I guess, a mountain woman, but I've been taught, but I don't think I could actually do it. Yeah.
Joe Biden.
I don't know how to load
barrels. Put the double barrels out the window. Blast off a couple.
Yeah, there you go. Shoot him in the leg. You know what he says?
So again, tonight, if you are just joining us, we will be here. We're starting at 7:00. And we are broadcasting live. We're going to be broadcasting tonight, the presidential debate. That's right. We're going to have it. We're going to have it in the off window. And we're going to be here. We're going to be, you're going to be responding. We're going to be responding emotionally and physically. We might be throwing stuff, but we want you to join us here at 7 p.m. We're broadcasting on all of the major networks. RT is giving us our international audience. So those that are overseas, that if you want to watch, you can tune in also at the same time.
Joe might say things like, play the radio, make sure the television, excuse me, make sure the record player's on.
Junior says that Trump needs to tell Joe, welcome to the Thunderdome.
With that said, we have two examples of our combatants tonight. No, I'm not combatants. Of our participants, we have two videos of what you might expect or what you could see. Let's show Joe Biden first.
I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
It's a mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racist. That is not true, number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign litigated on who supports civil rights and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that. I was a public defender. I didn't become a prosecutor. I came out and I left a good law firm to become a public defender when in fact my city was in flames because of the assassination of Dr. King. In terms of busing, the busing, you would have been able to go to school the same exact way because it was a local decision made by your city council. That's fine. That's one of the things I argued for. I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then.
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well,
I
there
did
was
not
a
oppose.
failure of states to integrate
No,
public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a
So
local
that's
decision.
where the federal government must step
The
in. That's why
federal
we have the
government
Voting
must
Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA, because there are moments in history where states fail to preserve the civil rights of all people.
I have supported the ERA from the very beginning when I ran
Vice President Biden, 30 seconds, because I want to bring other people in this.
That you will absolutely accept the result of this election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime. She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged. I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris, let me respond to that because that's horrifying. You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. This is a mindset. This is how Donald thinks. And it's funny, but it's also really troubling.
She wants open borders. Now we can talk about Putin. I don't know Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United
puppet,
States.
no puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear. So we are going to have the wealthy pay their fair share. We're going to have corporations make a contribution greater than they are now to our country. It could produce 10 million new jobs. By contrast, Donald's plan has been analyzed to conclude it might lose 3.5 million jobs. Why? Because his whole plan is to cut taxes, to give the biggest tax breaks ever to the wealthy and to corporations.
Her plan is going to raise taxes and even double your taxes. Her tax plan is a disaster. Our jobs are being taken out by the deal that her husband signed, NAFTA, one of the worst deals ever. Our jobs are being sucked out of our economy.
I understand and respect the tradition of gun ownership. It goes back to the founding of our country. But I also believe that there can be and must be reasonable regulation. When I think about what we need to do, we have 33,000 people a year who die from guns. What I would like to see is for people to come together and say, of course, we're going to protect and defend the Second Amendment, but we're going to do it in a way that tries to save some of these 33,000 lives that we lose every year.
I am a very strong supporter of the Second Amendment. We are going to appoint justices that will feel very strongly about the Second Amendment, that will not do damage to the Second Amendment.
He did everything he said.
Because you'd be in jail.
And when I watched that, I think, wow, if Hillary would have got in, we would have been so screwed.
People talking about Haiti again. They raped and pillaged Haiti. There were children being abducted after the earthquake in Haiti. It was awful what those people have done across this world, what these people are accused of, and I believe guilty for, and should stand trial for at bare minimum.
But I mean,
and to see Harris up there with you.
Notice I didn't show a whole lot of the funny stuff because it's not funny when it comes down to what you're going to see tonight.
Right.
Now, you can make jokes about it, but it's not funny because the country is at stake. So when you see President Trump up there, President Trump is going to be calling out Joe Biden and his deficiencies. Mm-hmm. He wants you to know that, I mean, and if you look at the contrast between both, Joe started to get ramped up, right? And felt the attack was personal. Where if you watch Trump was very measured in what he was saying, but he was also calling out Hillary's deficiency. And I bet you some of the stuff that he said, I bet you $1 to a donut. And I got that from the former governor of Ohio.
I was going to say, they say that in Ohio all the time. They say that here all the time.
I bet you dollars to a donut that the same thing that he said against Hillary, he can use against Joe.
Right. Hey, I got a little bit of, I don't know if it's breaking news, but kind of inside news. This from Ebony Bowden. She's a Washington correspondent for the New York Post. She just tweeted out just a few minutes ago that Joe Biden's campaign agreed to an inspection for electronic earpiece at tonight's debate several days ago, but are now declining, a source familiar told me.
So they agreed, and now they're saying no.
Now they're saying they're declining. She's from the New York Post. I give that a little bit more credibility than, and I mean, her reputation's on the line for saying it.
So you're saying Biden's campaign is declining what again?
Yeah, they agreed to an inspection of earpieces, but now they're saying that's ridiculous. We're not gonna do that. No inspection.
It's all up in the air. I guess you have to just tune in at 7 p.m. and watch with us and see what goes on. And back to your point, Wayne. Yeah, I think Trump needs to talk about his record of accomplishments. I think he needs to stay true and talk about how he has stayed true to the Constitution and just focus on the law and order and how he is bringing the economy back again from what China did to us. I think if he just stays on that path and really touts all that, I think that he can do really well at this debate. And talk about his Nobel Peace Prize too.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, if he Joe, I've been nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. How many have you been nominated?
Yeah, you've been in government for 180 years. Did you get anything like that ever?
47 years. No bills, no Nobel Peace Prizes. And look at me.
47 months. 47 months. I got this locked up.
I've changed the Middle East. I'm working on making the America energy independent. I've got 3 Nobel Peace Prizes nominations on the table.
I'm lowering
all
taxes.
You have is riots in the streets.
And you're raising taxes on everybody. $4 trillion on the working family. $4 trillion on the working family.
Right.
And you know what's odd? I know that Biden hasn't been touring a lot or having rallies, but Obama's been nowhere near, except for that one time they sat down and had that really insidious little conversation between the two where they bowed down to each other. Do you remember that? Other than that, Obama has been really eerily silent and just non-existent with this entire campaign, which I find interesting. And I also heard from Little Birdie that Kamala and Joe, they don't talk a lot. I heard they do not have a lot of contact with each other.
Well, the one conversation that we saw where Joe's wife called Joe and then said, hold on, I'm going to patch Kamala Harris in for a 3-way.
Yeah.
And that conversation was forced. It was uneasy. Think about it. I mean, her and Brown, that's a whole different story. Her and Brown and Heels Up Harris, all that stuff, that's a different story. This is Joe Biden. Joe Biden, great-grandpa Joe Biden, has nothing in common with Kamala Harris and her great-grandfather that owned slaves in Jamaica. Nothing in common. I'm just saying. I mean, it's true.
I mean, and then when Jill comes out and you can't even talk about Joe's gaffes, and she says, oh, no, because of Trump, that's off the table. No, it's not. She looked terrible when she said that. And any respect that anybody had for her should have flown right out the window because she can't even confront it. A mature adult would have at least said, hey, look, he's had these for a while. He just does this. It's because he's so riled up. She couldn't even make an excuse. That's how bad this is.
Right.
When the subject was brought up just a few minutes ago about about Obama not supporting Biden, he didn't say that Obama wasn't supporting Biden. He made the analysis that, or she made the analysis that, well,
are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying
Leah was saying that he's not as out front.
Don't you remember him on stage with Hillary? Right.
Right.
He was pushing Hillary down people's throats, and I mean, you could choke on it. It was so bad. And he can go to these little rallies they have, these 10 people rallies. he would be fine. You can wear a mask. You know, your God, Dr. Fauci, Obama said it's okay. You can go out there. So Obama could be there. He could have nightly town halls or do some streaming scopes. Obama's not doing anything.
Right.
And that's what I was talking about.
Right. Big Paul says he still thinks Biden's not going to show. Come on, he's got to show. But let me say this. People are feeding me all kinds of information right now, folks. And I just got another one. CNN just deleted a tweet. Okay.
Ooh, what's that tweet?
Here's the deleted tweet. And see if you catch it. Tonight is the first presidential debate of the 2020 election cycle where President Trump will face former Democrat nominee Joe Biden.
Former Democrat nominee. Do they mean because he ran for president before and he lied, so he had to step down?
I don't know. They said former Democrat nominee. I don't know. Are they going to change it up?
It's interesting.
I don't. Hey, slip. Whatever. I'm not giving any credence, guys. Everybody's coming at me. I guess they know we're live and they got all kinds of information.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can see how that would, because he was a former presidential nominee, but that was like over 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because he lied. He lied.
They should have said former vice president.
Yeah, they should
face
have phrased
former
it better.
Vice President Joe Biden.
Yeah, they should have, but that's CNN for you. Worth ratings.
God bless them. Crazy.
A lot of people are concerned with Chris Wallace doing this debate, saying he's not going to be fair, that he is going to take Joe's side. People are concerned about that, and they have a right to be. You want someone who's going to be in the middle, and if you can't have that, then it isn't fair if they're going to do the debate. So people do have a right to be concerned.
Well,
Don't think you're crazy for saying that.
Crowley. We saw what happened to Candy Crowley, and she was never heard from again.
She out of a job.
That
Yeah.
presidential. Yeah. I don't know where she went, but real quick, Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know why she hasn't switched over to the Republican Party.
I don't know either.
Tulsi Gabbard cites Project Veritas' Ilhan Omar video to call an end to ballot harvesting. That's a Democrat.
How is she a Democrat?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe she's waking up.
But that's going to piss off a lot of Democrats.
Sure is.
So somebody's saying that Chris Wallace is going to be much, much tougher on Trump. And I say, that's all right. Let it be. When they come with the heat on Trump, that just gets him. He is so sharp. He's so witty. He's so ready. I mean, just that clip you played earlier of Donald Trump in that just a regular old conversation. I mean, he just starts saying those things that you like, oh, that's right. I forgot about, oh, that's right. That one too. Oh, damn it. That's right. The Russian mayor gave Hunter Biden $3.5 million. He's got all this stuff in the bag.
I'm not tuning in to watch Trump. I'm tuning in to laugh at Biden. This is just going to be great for me because, I mean, we obviously know he's going to have gaps. We obviously know he's going to do this fake angry thing that he does. I'm just interested to watch that so I can laugh. I need a good laugh. It's been a rough year.
Right. And speaking about this, the Tulsi Gabbard thing, Donald Trump has been tweeting, I think, a half a dozen tweets about Project Veritas. He keeps retweeting our friend James O'Keefe over and over again. I'm thinking he's doing this because the FBI is going to start looking into this. They're going to have to.
Yeah, I think they are on a local level.
It was a problem back in 2016. What is disheartening, and I'm glad Tulsi's coming out. Tulsi with her stature, I'm glad she's coming out right now. But this was a problem in 2016. It's 2020 now. This should have been taken care of. The ballot harvesting subject topic should have been taken care of because it's cheating. It is cheating. And I know the media is not going to cover it. I know the media is not going to say anything about it. But again, Republicans should have been up all over this.
Right. New Mexico Ronnie says, what FBI? Oh, no. Damn it.
I thought for sure it was going to be headline news. Yes, Wayne, you're right.
Right. They should have been taking it to the American people and explaining what balance and Harvard is. Who is it? PragerU, which I really PragerU should have been doing videos and buying up television spots because they're making millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been buying up television spots and explaining what a ballot harvesting is. Well, Wayne, they do put videos on YouTube. No, I'm talking about putting it on streaming stuff.
Get some billboards. You got money, PragerU. Yeah, you got some money, PragerU. Put it on some billboards.
What about
put it in the grocery stores, right where the produce is? Just talk about ballot harvesting. Seriously, why not? Breaking news.
Can I call out Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk?
How about if I tell you the breaking news first? Biden just released his 2019 tax returns. He's now calling for Trump to release his.
No, it won't happen. It won't happen. Sorry.
Breaking news. So Joe Biden's at least awake. It's 1:17 p.m. So he must have woke up.
Or his people are, at least.
Yeah.
At least his people are to make it look like he's awake. So yeah, can I call Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk gave a speech 3 years ago in St. Louis. We were there. I was there. And in his speech, he said that our operating budget per year is $18 million. $18 million operating budget. With that, I would say for all you on the scope, if you're not a Patreon on this show, jump over $5 a month. It's a cup of coffee a week for each of us. Become a Patreon. Patreon.com/WD show. I'm serious. If Charlie Kirk's getting $18 million a year to operate, come on, y'all.
He wants to, and look, and I know some of y'all like Charlie Kirk, but with all that money, instead of making fun of people on these campuses, how many people has he signed up? How many people has he switched over because of his actions? How many people? Millions of dollars. What is the return on investment?
There is no return on investment whatsoever.
At least Scott Pressler's going around signing people up to new voter registrations. Is Charlie even doing new voter registration drives?
There's a lot. I mean, now his numbers are growing on Twitter. Candace's numbers are growing on Twitter. I hate to bash. Yeah, I'm not even going to get into this conspiracy because I already know what's going on because I check. I check people's numbers all the time. I just don't put it out there because many of y'all are going to trash me for telling the truth about fake followers and stuff. So forget it. I mean, if it doesn't mean anything to y'all about people getting fake followers, then why even post that people might have over 500,000 fake followers or 800,000 fake followers? If it doesn't matter to y'all, I mean, if y'all can give money to these people and then turn your noses up at little operations like
that hit a nerve. I'm sorry, Wayne.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right.
I feel the same way you do, bro. I follow Charlie. Charlie follows me. I know him. We've talked. He's a nice guy. I got nothing against Charlie personally. The business model is what I got a problem with. That's all. That's all I'm saying. If you're trying to change the minds of the children's in the universitas, you try to put out a fire in the university, and the fire is being fed with a giant fire hose of rocket fuel coming from the Department of Miseducation. You're never going to put that fire out because the fuel has to be turned off. Turn off the spigot at the Department of Miseducation. All the children brainwashed, and then you go fight them in the university.
Well, remember, Brian, God always has a plan for everybody. And if your plan is to make a monthly contribution to support our show, you can go to patreon.com/WD show. From there, you can make a contribution and you can help us out. And you can also get our app free because of our Patreons at the Wayne Dupree podcast app. You can download that and you can watch the debate tonight. And I know, and that's Wayne Dupree podcast. If you're looking for it in the App Store, it's easy to get. People have been asking on the scope. They're having debate drinking games. When do you drink or take a shot? It's when Biden says the words. You guys ready? Listen, Obama, look, fundamental, By the way,
I'm
and
already
come on.
drunk. I'm already drunk.
And
You
if
got to
Trump-
send those to me. You got
I
to send
will.
those to
And
me.
if
so I
Trump
can put that
says
up.
China, lowest record, tougher police, military, you got to drink with him. So we will
Oh,
make
you
sure
gotta
we.
bring-
I
you
will.
gotta-
I'll
you
send
gotta
it to
add
you.
You got to add black unemployment in there too.
Okay, I will send it to you. That way we have it for the show tonight, and we'll make funny little sounds or something whenever it comes across that way. Y'all know when to drink because I think
I
we
gotta
all
go
need a
get some beer.
good one.
Yeah,
We all need a good one tonight.
I
Let's
gotta go
see.
get some beer.
I got my vodka ready.
This won't end well. This won't end well.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I'm pumped up.
Lord.
Getting my popcorn. Got my 100 proof vodka. I'll cover up the sponsors so that way they're not paying us. Got my 100 proof vodka. Let's get this done. Let's get it done.
I gotta go and get some beer. So,
Let's get it
man,
done.
you know what? By the time that it starts, we're gonna be stoned. No,
It's gonna be an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm nonstop just taking shots.
I'm not a child. This ain't college. This ain't.
Better get with it, Brian. You better get with it.
I gotta.
You know what? I found out. My sister just had a birthday. My sister, both of us were adopted, but we were 9 months apart from each other. So I've been telling everybody that I was 52 years old for the last year because that's what she told me last year. She just turned 51. I'm like, wait a minute. How did you just turn 51 and I'm 52? Aren't you supposed to be 52? She said, no, I'm 51. I said, well, for a whole year, you just told me I was 52. No, I said you were 50. I said, no, you told me I was 52. So you're telling me I lost a whole entire year?
So
Because
Wayne, you're not 52.
No.
You're 53.
No, I'm 51.
Right.
Okay, I wasn't following.
And he said everybody's 52. You lost a whole year of being 51.
I lost a whole year. So in December,
oh wow,
I'm going to be 51, not 52. I'm going to get my year back for the next year. I'm going to be 51 years.
Go back.
Wow.
I was like, and so yeah, but yeah, my sister just turned 51. So
Quentin says, "You son of biscuit." I do like that when you say it. Every time Wayne says, "You son of a biscuit," we need to drink on the show. That is fun. I do like when you say that.
You son of a
You need to use that more often.
Daniel,
let's see.
Daniel said he's hitting the debate like it was a Super Bowl. I said, okay, man.
Get the helicopter out of here. You know.
Ricardo said I better get a half a gallon. Yeah, Ricardo, you're right. I probably do need a half gallon tonight.
Oh my God, a handle?
Oh gracious.
I don't know.
Get the helicopter out of here.
Speaking of that.
Okay, so before I go, we have a premium subscription service on WayneDupree.com. I know that the pop-ups were very annoying to many people. The reason why we have pop-ups is so that my staff can be paid, and which it really wasn't a lot, but it's what we have because we really don't have a whole lot of donors and we really don't have a lot of contributors. And that's the same for this show. We do have contributors for the show. We put this on here, monthly contribution to support our show at patreon.com. The reason why I haven't shown it for a couple of days is because sometimes I miss it because of what we get into. But we have a space where we gain supporters, and then we don't, and then there are days that we don't get anything from anybody. So there's nothing really to report. But we do thank all of our contributors that are giving. So I don't want you to think that we have forgotten you. So we have not. We do treasure everybody that contributes to the show. It's just that, like I said, there are days when nobody gives anything, and then there's really nothing to add here. But for the website itself, people were complaining about the ads. People were complaining about the pop-ups, and I truly understand. I truly understand what you were complaining about. So we heard that part. We develop a premium service, which is $5 a month or $50 a year, which is less than the $5 a month. Or there's a Premium Plus service where I'm going to be adding some extra things to the website. That's $10 a month, or $100 for the whole year, which is less than $10, a month. But there's no ads. There's no pop-ups. So I'm still having people complain about that. They wanted me to get rid of the pop-ups, period, so they could just see the stories. They're not asking for a premium service. And I'm like, listen.
That's not how it works.
I've watched many people. I've watched many people give to many causes out here. And I've watched what has happened to those causes. You know, and I was going to call people out, and I'm not going to call people out right now. But I've seen people get thousands of dollars monthly to other podcasts. I've seen people give that. I've seen people collect millions, and people just said, "Oh well, I know the money didn't go towards such and such, but you know, it's for a good cause." Leah, Brian, and me are a good cause. We have been here. We're not going anywhere.
I agree with that. Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. We're here. You can trust us.
Yeah.
We're not trying to give you any bunch of bull stories or conspiracy or whatever.
No talking points.
No corporate talking points.
None.
No network force talking points. We're trying to tell you what's going on in America and how it affects us. You have a white male, you have a white female, you have a black individual. The only person that we're missing, I guess, is a Latino and an Asian. But you know,
pick one up somewhere.
Yeah.
And can I just say something about you, Wayne? And for everybody that doesn't, okay, so I watch other people. I'm not going to say anybody specific. They come on, they do their podcast, they go home, they call it a day, they collect their money, and that's the end of it. Wayne puts his heart and soul into everything he does, and every tweet that he puts out, he's not putting out for clicks. He's not putting out for friends. He's putting out because it's the truth and because he means it and because he feels it, and he thinks about what he's saying before he tweets it out because he wants us to have a better country. He wants us to have a better life. So what Wayne is doing is not, he's not trying to make himself rich or trying to make more followers. He's trying to do this because he wants the world to be a better place. And last night he proved that. I can say that. I can stand here high and say, last night he proved that with a tweet that he put out that he was talking to Jack at Twitter about on how to make things more positive during all this noise with all these conservatives just screaming at each other or screaming at the left or talking about themselves and why they're so great. Wayne comes out last night and talks about how to make it a better positive experience on Twitter. The only conservative doing that right now because he means it and because he cares about it. And when you guys are putting up on the chats, hey, here's an idea for a talking point, or here's an idea for a show, or could you guys talk about this? Wayne, after every show, hey, did you see, Kathleen said, hey, maybe we should talk about this, or we should do a story on this. You guys, he's doing this for you. We're doing this for you. I can't say that about a lot of podcasters out there. They're doing it for the clicks. I'm just saying.
Well, you wait till Trump goes away at 2024.
Then they go away.
See where those podcasters go.
Yes, and that brings me back to my point I said at the beginning of the show. They get washed out to shore. Wayne gets to stay because they are fly-by-nighters where Wayne isn't. And that's why he has one of the longest running talk shows.
Right.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for everything that you do.
Right. Absolutely. I started doing it back in 2014 to document the demise of America because I couldn't take it anymore. It's not about being this huge celeb. That's not what it's about. It's about saving America. Ask everybody around the world. America goes. There ain't nowhere else to go. This is it. It's the last city on the hill.
Wayne could have sold out years ago. Wayne could have sold out years ago, and he didn't. Just remember that because he wants to tell the truth.
We see where they went.
You find another pod.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I had somebody contact me and they were like, and this is coming from a third party. We want to bring Wayne on. We just don't know if he wants to be part of the program.
The program.
And I was like, they don't need to contact me then. Because yes, there will be call-ins tonight. Because I used to, myself, and we're getting ready to let you go. I used to run And this to my friends at the RNC, I'm like, why haven't y'all brought me on and whatnot? And yeah, I did. A while back, I was like, why haven't y'all added me to RNC? You know, I want to help make some change. And they're like, Wayne, you don't want to be part of the RNC. You have an independent voice. If you were part of the RNC, then you couldn't be as independent as what you are.
Yeah.
Right.
You got toe the line. Got toe the line.
Right. Same thing with Fox News. You can't be Leah, Brian, myself, we can't be part of Fox News because we would lose our voice.
I was about to be brought on board for Trump's re-election campaign here on the west side of Cincinnati. I ain't never told nobody this, but I was there, and after a couple of months of going through everything, qualified candidate, no problem. They said couldn't do it because of the show, and I said, well, I could take a step back from the show. They're like, no. They didn't trust I would step back from the show.
This show?
Well, the show I had before this.
Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, look, I'm back.
Right.
So,
and that's just it. We wouldn't have the voice to say CCP sent over COVID-19. You're not going to hear that on Fox when everybody knows that that's the truth. I mean, this is just the honest truth. So again, we sacrifice what we really could be getting paid to tell you the truth. Really.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. We're not here pushing a book saying, here, buy this book. It's a bestseller. Buy this book. And I'm not getting on Facebook or live stream Scope freaking out. Trust me, I can run my mouth fast. I can do that every day, but I don't because I just want to get out the truth.
Right.
And sometimes there might not be truth in that. So I don't want to do that.
And that's why when I say that again, I say this and we're getting ready to roll, and then we can talk about it later tonight. I was the first not the first, but when I started my radio network, I started a radio network when I lost my job under the Obama administration. Thank you, Rich, for becoming a Patreon member. Rich just became a $5 Patreon member.
God bless you.
Thank you, Rich.
$5 times 100 people.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
I started a radio network and I had like 20 to 25 shows. 20 to 25 shows of individuals that couldn't get on other networks. We made it possible for those individuals to have a voice on a network. We became the #1 political news network on Live 365. #1.
That's huge.
And how did I get that going? I used my 401k after I lost my job under Obama. That's why I brought that up. I used my 401k to keep it going. And then when I start running out, I start asking some of the people I'm gonna have to give like between $20 a month to continue remaining on the program, and people start leaving.
Wayne, all I can say is you can sleep good at night because you're not ripping anybody off and you're just trying to get the truth out.
True.
And the audience love it and they know it. And I'll end with Stanley Holmes says, in life, you have two kinds of people, hearers and listeners. Hearers only hear, but listeners understand.
Amen.
And that's well said. 7 o'clock tonight.
7 o'clock tonight. Thank you, Lisa.
Bring your alcohol.
Before I go, I do have to say, Mammoth Nation is something that you need to check out. It is America's conservative discount club. Go to mammothnation.com. It's only $19 a year. They have great discounts on all sorts of products and materials. You're automatically entered into the Mammoth Nation Election Day sweepstakes, where you could possibly win a 65-inch Samsung TV. You can also become a lifetime member, where you can get a free Trump flag. So make sure you check out mammothnation.com. Okay, mammothnation.com. And there is a Trump flag right there. We'll be on tonight, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. We're expecting you here.
Ready. Whatever you're going to eat, bring it. DoorDash it. Uber Eats, whatever. Bring it in.
Also, Nick told me to ask you that I need a break every 30 minutes.
Yeah, and wear your pants, Brian. Don't forget your pants.
Thank you, Aussie Nick. I appreciate that, buddy. He's looking out for me. Y'all ain't looking out for me.
And tell your friends, listen, I know a lot of people, I was sitting around a campfire over the weekend. They were like, man, we're going to watch the debate, but it's just me and my husband. How boring. I was like, no, tune into our show. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. So tell your friends about it, because sometimes people are bored. They're kind of sad being at home stuck with all this going on. Remind them, hey, you got to watch Wayne, Leah, and Brian, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
Yep. And again, we're going to have it broadcast. We're going to have it broadcast on like a side panel, and we're going to be talking about so many things going on. And I mean,
we're going to take your questions. We're going to take your calls, everything.
Yep.
I need to get a cushion for my chair.
I'm in a lazy boy, so it's nice.
I need a cushion for my chair.
I'm in a nice lazy boy here.
It's going to be
That's how
like
we're going to have it. Yep.
Okay. So make sure, and we're going to be listening to you.
Yeah.
We're going to be
and like Aussie Nick said, we're going to be broadcasting live around the world. So it's going to be great to hear from people from all across the world on what's going to go on. What time does it start? It starts at 9. It runs for 90 minutes. We're going to start though at 7 o'clock taking calls. So once you're done with dinner, you're finished up putting the kids to bed, then you can jump on anytime you want after that. We'll be here.
I'd see you then.
All right. So y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you in a few hours.
First of all, where do you want to see the court take the country? And secondly, what's your view on how the Constitution should be interpreted?
That's like saying
Hold on
before
just
you
a
got on this
moment.
program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh?
That's the question. Please quiet everybody.
You got more questions, but I
hold
tell
on,
you, if
folks,
you have a problem
because
figuring
this
out
is going to
whether
end
you're
up
for
getting
me
out
or
of control.
Trump,
Let's try to
then
keep
you
it
ain't
quiet
black.
so for the candidates and for the American people.
Joe's not all there. It's sad when you look at it and you see it.
I want to thank you both for participating.
My wife has to go on at 6 o'clock.
Now the decision is up to you.